We all know Australia has a housing affordability problem. We also know that there's a housing shortage crisis. Even if you could afford a home, there doesn't seem to be enough of them. Today, though, I'm not here to talk about what we already know. What I want to talk about is, where are people supposed to live? Like I can see things getting bad now. Like, our Prime Minister in Australia, right, is just going to keep bringing more people from overseas. The government knows, though, at the same time that they don't have enough housing. Okay, there's not enough houses. There's not of any kind. So my question is, where are people going to go? Where are people supposed to live then? Now, I've kind of looked into this, recently, but if you look at the options for someone who can't live in a normal home, what are you going to do? If you've got a car, you might be thinking, I'm just going to have to live out of my car. But the question is, where can you legally live in your car in Australia? I'm in Darwin, and, wherever you're living, it might be different. Apparently, according to the Darwin City Council, you're allowed to sleep in your car during the day in a public area. However, between the hours of sunset to sunrise, they consider that camping in a public area, which is illegal. So it's illegal to live out of your car. What other options have people got? Well, maybe they've got a caravan. Maybe they've got a friend who will lend them a caravan. Where can you live in a caravan legally in Australia? Well, that has limits too. You can't just park your caravan in a public area and sleep in it. Not even once. You have to be on a space where you get a permit or a caravan park, and that's fair enough, right? Because I can understand why there's laws around that. It's not like you're going to get away with living out of your car illegally or living in your caravan illegally, because we have so much security cameras in all these cities and in the suburbs. So what other places can people live then? Those little tiny homes that people have been talking about for the last 10 years? Well, tiny homes, again, you have to put it on private land, and then you still have to get a permit to have that tiny home on private land, and you need to get all approval by council, basically, and it costs money, and it's just not as simple as people think. The only thing I haven't looked at, to be honest, is if you can live on a boat. So out on the sea, of course. It looks like in Australia, it's basically illegal to be homeless. Where are people going to go? That's legal, because from what I see on the news every week, it just seems that more and more Australian people are starting to go homeless. And I know from watching the news that there are a growing number of people living out of their tents, and they're just popping their tents, they're putting their tents on the side of the roads. Now, apparently that's illegal in Australia, but it seems that people are letting them live in their tents. And I suppose that's good, because, where are people supposed to live if they haven't got a house? The way that the country is going in Australia, it's just inevitable, isn't it, that there's going to be more and more people finding themselves out of a home. It makes me think, well, where are they going to live? I mean, and the fact is, I question this because this could happen to any of us. We all sort of like to think, would never be homeless, right? Especially if we've got a home now and things are going good now. The fact and the truth is any of us could find ourselves homeless one day, This is why I like to think of these sort of things, because I know that, I don't take my life for granted, you see. I know that things can turn for the worse just like that. Last year I lost my job due to a workplace injury. And my life is pretty well much, taken a big turn. I've got injuries. I live in chronic pain. I have to get surgery on my shoulders, and I've got no job now. So I know that, damn, I could have been one of those people too that are homeless now. These people that we see on the news who are living in tents or living on the street, That could be any one of us one day. It saddens me to see more and more Australian people becoming homeless in this country, It just seems to be becoming like the norm now. But nowadays, the people that are becoming homeless are just normal people who don't have any mental health issues. They don't have drug and alcohol addictions. They're actually just being forced to go homeless because they can't afford housing. That's like when you've got no other alternative, right? Hopefully most people have got friends or family, relatives that they can, stay with until they get their foot into appropriate housing. But, not everyone's got that. Yeah, I don't know. I think that our government needs to start focusing on this new issue, this because this is going to be, this is going to be big. It's going to be big problem in Australia. I just don't think we're ready for it, Like, the government's just so busy just giving money away to overseas. I'm not sure about the facts. Don't take it from me because I'm not really a person who writes down all the details. I just know that our Prime Minister, donated a lot of money for a football team to Papua New Guinea, I think. He just sends a lot of money overseas when we've got Australian people who are going homeless. Why isn't any of the politicians, I don't care what side you're on, what side they're on, I don't care if it's Liberal, Labor, One Nation, whatever, why isn't any politicians actually starting to question the government about, well, where are these homeless people going to go? I don't think anyone is immune to being homeless now. Anyone, that's across the world, like the way things are going and the cost of living, we're being priced out of our existence, like that's the truth. And, but I don't want this to be a big Debbie Downer video. I know I make a lot of videos and I seem to focus on all the sad, miserable things in life, but I'm just a realist, and I don't think that ignoring, these real issues is helping anyone. I think you've got to actually stop ignoring what's going on to be able to do something about it. The older I get, the worse people are becoming. People in power, and there's no compassion. I think it's going to take us, common people, not the overlords, us. The ones that make other people rich. We need to start expressing our concerns, I think all levels of government in Australia, at least, know that there's going to be more homeless people to come. See, if it was me, if I was in government and I knew that there was lots of people becoming homeless, I would be thinking of maybe allocating a big piece of land and allowing people to live there in tiny homes or some sort of demountable where they have to pay a small amount of rent. And if they can't get a job to pay the rent, well, they could do some sort of community service. It wouldn't be like, oh, here's a free home. But the point is, it's better than seeing people live in tents on the side of the road. Anyway, that's just my idea. Unless the government is going to be able to get all these homes built to accommodate the growing number of people coming in to Australia, where are they going to go? Do you think they've got a plan for all these people that are going to lose their homes? Do you think they've got ideas and plans for where they're going to go? If you have watched me this far, thank you so much. It's been lovely having you here. Take care, peace, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.